Hi everyone, welcome to Friday 18th July 2025 crypto update before we head into the weekend. It's been quite monumentous as the week goes, so let's get into it. First things first, last week, as I've mentioned before on Bitcoin, we had a weekly breakout, and this week so far has gone down as much as it's gone up. It's been pretty stagnant. Which, fairly bullish. You have a break up, and the best it can do is retesting the 4-hour ledge at best, taking liquidity there. At the end of the day, though, it's not really moved that much in the last week. A lot of wicks to the upside, as we can probably see, like on the 12-hour, and on the 4-hour, which isn't super promising. On the other hand, what is promising is slightly lower time frame. You can clearly see rising supports as someone is TWAPing in, and at the same point, the Coinbase premium has held pretty steady at between 50 and 100. So there's clearly buying going on. Obviously, they're selling, people are offloading, but a fair bit of buying. So there is a chance you can just try and trade these higher lows if you really want. I mean, I think the risk reward is pretty weak given how wide you'd have to go on all of that. It has bounced out of, I think it's weak. On the other hand, F's just one shot it, 20% weak after, not closed, but it's just run the straight gauntlet day after day in the green after breaking out. I guess we had this little consolidation just over this breakout. I think we mentioned that was more important than any kind of meme line. And as soon as that meme line was gone, there's just nothing in between, clearly. I thought there was a bit more in between, but market tends to disagree. There was longs along this way, but I think they were very hard. I really think the plays were down here, and then maybe here, and then if you were really, really aggressive here. But now we've hit kind of the euphoric point. The only thing that holds me on whether this is a top is, once again, it's just doing a lateral consolidation, almost no breakdown, and the Coinbase premium is stuck at $2 per ETH, which is right around the point when you really start to see moves. So there's clearly selling going on and absolute absorption. So there is a play here, but it's starting to get a bit crowded, I would think. If we just look at FBTC for a sec, it's very, very clear people are loading up, and there's a lot of euphoria. It's gone past this kind of weekly consolidation in a hurry. But let's see if it sticks. There's likely to be a cooldown at some point, God knows where. Don't know. I mean, if you really wanted to play this, I think you have to play this aggressively and nothing in between. You play this in the higher range, and it's just going to go to Nirvana. Pick your spot. Or you wait for an absolute cooldown, and then you buy any kind of lower consolidation wherever it would stop. We've seen, if you look on the ETH weekly, there is a tendency for it to make absolutely giant moves up and giant moves down. And this is kind of a pivot point from my point of view. We've seen, this be rejected with some harshness, and in a short-term time frame, that's very possible. Regardless, I mean, I myself I would want this to close up here before any kind of big wick down. So I don't have any orders layered, but into next week, I will probably layer some dip orders. I mean, maybe 20% chance they get hit, but 20% chance is good enough for me to put them in there. It's worth noting just some other things at the same point. Sol, it's broken out of its little consolidation. It's broken into this higher range. It's really a hanger on. And then XRP, which most hated coin in the world, honestly, hard coin to trade. I think you just buy low and you hold for like 4 months. It's now done the move. There's euphoria for even XRP as it's getting its own ETF. I don't know who is buying this coin. It's just a banker central controlled coin, but you know, there's money to be made. I don't have insight into it. But beyond that, even LTC is making moves. I mean, obviously in a range. So there's clearly just euphoric buying across the piece right now. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, LTC's had 6 green days on increasing volume. The powers that be have clearly tried to start alt season, but I'm more betting for a cool off in some time in the future. The only question I have is on BTC and ETH, which have TradFi support of some substantive value. So, like I said, I think aggressive on ETH and BTC if you believe in it. I don't. I mean, yeah, this is rising supports, but I feel like this is kind of the reclaim they're trying to achieve here. I feel there's probably still time to get in if it can survive one more down move. ETH play aggressively, otherwise there's just no stops on the way down because there's no stops on the way up, and I think there's a lot of people ready to get rolled. But maybe let's have a look at some other indicators that will provide some context. Probably the most important. It seems once again there was front loading of Donald Trump's announcements. We saw a lot of ETF buying into this kind of announcement, so it makes some sense. His friends get the leg up they need. Obviously, billionaire's gonna billionaire. Good world. And ETH ETF has rolled in a 700 million and then a 600 million inflow day. That's 700 million before the announcement by Trump. That's 600 million after. Interesting. Usually the pre-buying is 20% in terms of the front running, not in crypto under Trump government, more like 65%. But it does show TradFi can push this forever. This is no money for TradFi, and definitely no money for a pension fund. I mean, if you look at Bitcoin ran from ETF news got us all the way to, 48k, and then TradFi buying just pushed this straight up to 70. And so, I mean, ETH is a small market cap, 1/6 to Bitcoin. There's a lot of room there. We see MicroStrategy's continuing on with its little jobby here, continuing to buy Bitcoin. And from a market book point of view, I've never, like I said, I don't believe that walls are really that important in FBTC. Sell walls. At best, you get a tip to the next level, but not always. As you can see, there's no resistance that really matters. Like, people continue to load up, but if someone drops 600 million more in, it's not going to matter. It's a TradFi world. Bitcoin, on the other hand, and I think this is interesting, thanks for that ad, is the support starting to load up. Let me move into a higher time frame. There is interest, and where before it was a bit dark, it hit this wall here and then it stopped. These walls are much higher now. They're just loading up, really starting to be very thick. So I think that is a basis for a Bitcoin trade, and actually I'm going to change my mind on the basis of this. We've seen it just kind of wick into these small walls. I mean, 1800 is a reasonable point to trade it. Let me do this again. All right. Let's do this on a wall basis. And this is a risk reward I like a bit better. Yeah. So here's the story. I think a lot of things are overheated. You have to play the trend, or bid very low. So if you want to get involved aggressively, but manage your risk. I mean, you're sitting on top of a lot of people. All right, that's all. Thank you. Bye.